Hey CIA friends, I'm here with Malka Dubrawsky at the International Quilt Festival 2018. So shout out to CIA members. Malka's
and I'm a CIA member, yes.
Yeah, we were both talking about how CIA is the most resource-deep group we've ever
Absolutely.
seen. It's awesome. So Malka, you're vending here at the International Quilt Festival. How many years have you done this?
So this is my third year. I originally started doing it. I have done QuiltCon as a vendor or a teacher every single year QuiltCon has existed. And then I think the first year they were in Pasadena, the folks that were next door to me said, you should definitely vend at festival. They found out I was from Texas, I live in Austin, and they said, you should definitely do festival, which I have been coming to festival for years just as an attendee. And the thought of doing this was just like, me, I would do festival, but it is actually proven to be a really profitable show for me.
Excellent. So
yeah.
it's done, because I know the booths here are outrageously expensive, but it's done okay for you?
I don't think that when you factor in how many people come in, and I'm happy to be specific, a booth at QuiltCon, a 10 by 10, which is like the base booth, for a single person, so single vendor, is I think $700, $750, I forget the exact amount. And here
is that per day or the whole
No,
thing?
the whole thing.
Okay.
Per day.
Yeah.
Per day I'd be at home. But here it's $12.50. So it is, it's substantially more expensive, but you're going to get an attendance here of 40 to 50,000 people. That's what they'll tell you every year comes to this show. So you've got a large attendance. It's just, for me personally, to factor in driving down here versus flying to wherever, say QuiltCon is, I don't ship anything, I just bring it all with me.
Yeah.
It saves a huge amount of money. Shipping inventory is at least $500, and that's at least. So yeah, for me it's very cost effective. I don't know how it works for folks who are coming from other big places, but I could see that if you could drive your stuff down here, if you could, just bring it that way, that you would, that would be more, doable.
Good. What kind of products work really well for you?
It really works to have lots of fabric. And in the past, before I had this line for Robert Kaufman, I would just make tons and tons of my hand-dyed fabrics. But I mean, literally,
which are beautiful.
I
They're
would
so
just
great.
spend, months making fabric for this show, and it would sell out. And except for like brown. Brown would always say, nobody buys brown. I love brown. I'm wearing brown, but nobody buys brown. Anyway, and the patterns sell. But here's something I have learned. Somebody gave me this advice years ago at a show I was vending. I think it was one of the QuiltCons. I had a quilt that I had the pattern for, but I didn't, and I had made a sample, but I thought it'd be fun to make a sample that was in different colors, in a different colorway than the original. And she said, people want to see the same quilt that you've got on the pattern cover, and I've since then always brought the quilts that are on the pattern covers and sold those patterns.
And do they want to buy that exact fabric too?
Sometimes. I don't do a lot of kitting. I have one kit, but they definitely want to see. They're like, oh, I like this quilt. Where's that pattern? And if I didn't have that pattern, they wouldn't be as interested in it.
Interesting.
Just the other day, I have this pillow, and I have the pattern for it, and it's not the same. It's not the same colorway. It's not the same fabrics. But I have noticed that without the pillow, the pattern doesn't sell at all. I long ago sold the pillow itself.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to bring this pillow in because when I set up here, I accidentally dropped it on the ground outside. So the back is dirty. But I decided to bring it in, and lo and behold, the pattern started selling.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Well, and the other pattern covers are clear and bright, and they sell.
Yeah, you definitely want a
Well,
good,
I'm seeing the quilts
a good
of them
image
all
of your
around,
quilt,
so.
and it's amazing how much you want to kind of position the patterns so they're kind of within eyesight of the quilts. You don't think that someone will say, oh, I really like the pattern, and it won't be obvious to them where that quilt is, or I really like this quilt, and it won't be obvious to them where the pattern is. But yeah, you want to make it as simple as possible.
I see that you've got the patterns clipped to each of the quilts. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that if anyone
Good to
says,
know.
I think that's been really good for me too, because it says to people, I do actually have this pattern. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's the vibe of the show this year compared to the other 2 years you've been here?
I think that with this show, positioning is everything. I have a corner booth here. It's a great thing to have, and it was
You
just
get traffic from two directions.
yeah. It was just I didn't even know I had a corner booth till I got here to set up, and it was such a surprise because I were holes assuming that I had a whole other side. And so the traffic today this time has been really good. Last year I was a little more tucked in to like the middle of a row, and things weren't as good as the first year where I was almost to the front of a row. It's very much about positioning.
And
in
you
a
have no
huge,
control over that.
Not
do you?
really. I think if you sponsor, you might have a little bit more control, but if you're just a regular vendor, no, it's not.
Yeah, and if you buy out like a whole center
Right,
section,
obviously, yes, where you
the
can like
whole thing.
recarpet the whole thing for yourself, yes.
Yeah, those are amazing booths,
yeah.
right?
But if you're just, a regular person, but if I was going to go to one of these shows and thought, you know what, I want to have maybe that kind of control or a bigger booth like that, you might want to go in with somebody else, Go
Right.
in with somebody else who makes where y'all's booth can look very cohesive together, and then you can split the cost of that because, two booths is, what is that, $12.50 times two,
Yeah.
So it's not like, it doesn't get cheaper as the booths get bigger,
Oh, no,
so.
of course
But whereas at QuiltCon, there are fewer vendors. So really all the places are good because, there's not as big a vending. I mean, it takes people days to walk through all these
That
vendors,
it does, for sure.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, Malka, thank you so much.
Sure.
And this has been great information. We really appreciate it. And best wishes for a very successful show.
Well, I appreciate it, Larry.
So thank you.